Hi everyone, it's good to see you. My blog and my YouTube channel are about my journey as a sewist. I've been sewing for about 3 years now, and this week when I was working on yet another jersey top, it hit me that maybe I was sewing just for sewing. Not because I really needed things, but because I wanted to sew. There's nothing wrong with that. Sewing is my primary hobby. However, it's not always as rewarding to do something just to do it. You want to wind up with a result that you really enjoy. So tonight, before I sat down at the machine, I decided to take a look at my closet. I've recently lost a little bit of weight, which is a wonderful thing, and some things that I've had in the back of the closet are fitting for the first time in a couple of years, which means that I can look at garments a little more discerningly and remove some things that I don't necessarily like. And as I was piling things up to go to Goodwill, I realized that a lot of the things I was getting rid of are things that I have sewn myself. So I thought it would be worthwhile for me, and it might be interesting to someone else, to see what I'm getting rid of and the lessons that I have learned from those garments. I am wearing a wrinkled Durando Plantain tee. This is a free pattern. I've used it 7 or 8 times in the last 2 years. I love the shape of it, and I will continue to make Durandos. And this is a nice cotton jersey. This was in the back of the closet. I'd forgotten that I had it. I thought it needed to be pressed, honestly. But I like this. I'm keeping this. But I want to show you some of the things that I'm getting rid of and tell you why I'm getting rid of them. I have a number of tops that I made in the last year that are kind of shapeless and big because I was feeling kind of shapeless and big. So this particular top is made from a chalice I picked up at Joann. It's got a frill at the bottom and frilly sleeves, and it just doesn't do anything for my figure. I still like the fabric, but when I put it on I feel uncomfortable. And also, the fabric frays at the hem. So every time I wash it, I have to sit down with a pair of cuticle scissors and snip off little tails of thread. Along the same lines is this silk blouse that I made. This is a style arc pattern. It's got year of the sleeve, 2017 sleeves. It never fit right. I still like the fabric, but it's one of those things that I put on and I'm tugging at it constantly. There's no point in me keeping that. Lessons learned from both of these garments. I don't want things that are really shapeless, and I need to make sure that necklines fit so that I'm not pulling things. I've got a couple of skirts that I'm getting rid of. This is one I just made. I really liked the fabric. It was kind of fun. And I love Bowden A-line skirts. I used to order them from the UK when Bowden was just in the UK. This is a quilting cotton. It's way too stiff. I used a really crappy craft fabric for the bottom, and you can actually see through it. It's lined, it's got nice pockets. I really like the pattern, but the fabric was all wrong. Worse than that, I did a terrible job of laying out the waistband, so it actually makes my belly look larger. Not keeping that. Another skirt that I'm getting rid of is one that I made up for the Pattern Review Sewing Bee last year. It's amazing the things that you'll make for a contest that you don't really need just because you want to enter a contest. And I made this stretch velvet pencil skirt with a frill on the bottom. The skirt isn't bad. It fits all right now, especially because I'm down a couple of pounds, but I'll never wear it. If we went out for dinner all the time to jazz clubs, I'd wear something like this with a silk blouse. We don't do that. We go to the local pub maybe and have dinner on a Friday night. This does not fit within my life, and I don't feel particularly comfortable in it. Maybe somebody else will wear it. When I started sewing my first summer, I made this top, which I actually still like. It's a Berta. It was a lawn. I don't know where I picked it up. I had it for a long time, and then I just used a really cheap batiste for the band. I still like it, but I've worn this so many times on vacations. There are many pictures of me wearing this, and I guess I'm just kind of tired of it. I don't think there's anything wrong with getting rid of me-made garments that we're tired of. We shouldn't hang on to things just for sentimental reasons, just because we made it. I've got pictures of me in it, and I can look back on those fondly. I've got the pattern review. So why am I keeping it when I'm not going to wear it? Along the same line, this is a Colette sorbetto that I made up with Liberty cotton remnant. I like it. I used this really cute bias binding that I bought from Elephant in my handbag. I like it. It fits fine, but it's really sweet. Every time I wear it, I feel like I'm going to work in a nursery school. I love pink, but this combination of polka dots and the very sweet floral just is not my personality. So it sits in the closet. Another pink thing that has been sitting in my closet is this. It's a Tilly and the Buttons Orla that I made 2 years ago. It's never been worn. It's got the exposed zipper in it. The fabric that I bought is a quilting cotton, and I was actually just attracted to the pretty pink fabric and the silver on it. But it doesn't drape, and I don't really like the neckline at all. So it's never been worn. Another blouse that I made where I was drawn to the fabric is this Vogue top with a pussy bow. I actually made the same top out of a cotton jersey, and I love it. I wear it a lot. But this is some shiny polyester thing that I bought at Joann, and I only bought the fabric because it went with a new faux suede skirt that I'd bought 2 years ago in the fall, and I thought, well, wouldn't that be cute? Well, it doesn't hang right. I don't like the sleeve lengths. I feel obligated to wear it every time I put on that skirt, even though I have other things that I can wear with it. Actually, something that I now fit into, so why am I keeping it? Earlier this year, I made 3 attempts at a certain pattern with cold shoulders. I actually really like this fabric, but I'll never wear this. I don't like the cold shoulders. I don't like the design of the pattern. It's kind of out of style already, so get rid of it. I said I've made the deer and doe several times. One of the iterations that I made is this. This is stretch linen. It's a beautiful fabric. Several years ago, I had a stretch linen top from J. Jill that I really liked. It was oversized, it hung nicely. I wore it to death when we lived in Florida. So I wanted to try and replicate that, but I used the wrong pattern. So I do wear this from time to time, but it never hangs right. I made a belt to go with it. The belt just makes everything bunch up in the back. So it's one of those things where when I wear it, people say, I really like your top, but I don't feel good in it. And if I don't feel good in something, why am I keeping it? I'm not, but I would definitely buy stretch linen again if I saw some. Here's another skirt that I made because of a pattern review contest, the Sewing Bee in 2016. I made the Great British Sewing Bee asymmetrical skirt. And I actually didn't do a bad job out of it. But the shape isn't great on me. I used a nice wool. It's not lined. The shape isn't good. So, and it's a little shorter than I probably should wear. So why am I keeping it? Just to say, I made this skirt and I made it to round 2 of the pattern review Sewing Bee. I've got pictures of it. I'm going to let it go. This is a fun pattern though, if you want to take on a challenge. The asymmetrical skirt from the Great British Sewing Bee book is fun. A jumper that I made, pinafore jumper, and I kind of like, and it fits nicely. However, I made this early on and I didn't really know what I was doing. So the fabric is fraying. I've had to redo the pocket several times. One day last winter, I sat in the changing room in the gym at work, taping and stapling the pocket edge because it had frayed, and that was the only way that I was going to be able to get through the day. So this is probably not even going to go into the Goodwill bag. This is going to go into the junk bag because I don't want to put that upon anyone else. Why have I kept? I've been trying to make pants, and this year I made 2 pairs of pants. This is a pair of cropped pants. It's a Lisette pattern that I had all kinds of problems with, and I actually put it in the wardrobe contest on Pattern Review earlier this year. They were huge, and I think that's because of the fabric I chose. I have actually endeavored to wear these several times. I've worn them to work and gotten the, oh, did you make those? Look. So I like some things about the pattern. I love the back pockets on it, but I don't feel good in them, and I don't think it's my best work. So it's time to let them go. Another pair of pants that I made this summer, another Lisette pattern that I had pretty good luck with, and I tried to do a better job of fitting these, but they will never fit. They're too big. I probably used the wrong fabric, and I could live with a little bit too big because I always wear things untucked, but the fabric just, I mean, this is after it's been ironed to death. It's always creased. It was well, it wasn't even inexpensive. It was a stretch twill from Joanne, and it's just never going to look good. I don't like things that never look good. These have never been worn outside the house, and they never will be worn outside the house. This is a Sew Over It Ultimate Shift Dress, fabric from Sew Over It. I just bought this fabric in May and made this up in June. The shape is really bad. Makes me look heavy. I don't feel confident in it. I could take it in a little bit, I suppose, and it's one of those ones that's sitting on top of the Goodwill pile. It might come back out. But for me, this is a lesson in do not get seduced by fabric and patterns in a shop. Think about how things are going to look on you before you make them. This was really kind of a disappointment for me. I may go back and get more of the fabric and use a different pattern, but I also know that this lawn is really lightweight. It's not great for a dress. Actually, if I was going to wear it, I would have to make a slip to go underneath it. So, top of the Goodwill pile, but it's still going in the Goodwill pile. Just got a couple more things to show you. This is the first knit jacket I ever made, and I went to a class with a craftsy instructor named Pam Howard, who's based here in Atlanta, and she helped me through this a great deal. The jacket turned out really well. I like it. Pam fitted the shoulders and the sleeves really nicely, but here's what I don't like. It makes me feel big. It's too short on me. Every time I wear it, I'm doing this all the time, and I don't like how it looks when it's closed. I think this would be like an okay wear around the house jacket, but the pattern is wrong. And a lesson I learned from this pattern is that I don't like things that are voluminous, and I don't like jackets that have the elliptical shape. So there are a lot of patterns I've walked away from because of the lessons I learned from this particular jacket. So what have I made that I love? I'm going to show you 2 garments I made that get worn. These are in the wash every single week. And these are a lesson to me. These are both ITYs. Same pattern. It's a slightly elliptical shaped top, but it hangs straight. And let's see if we can find it on. This has just a seam in the front. So you could do some color blocking. I don't know if you can see that. It's just got this seam in the front. Sleeveless top. I wear these all the time. So why don't I make more of these? More of these and more deer and doe plantains. That's probably what I'm going to do. But sewing is really a journey, and part of my journey is learning what looks good on a pattern. Envelope doesn't always look good on me, and what looks good on other shapes may not work on me. Even fabrics and colors. I have a pretty good idea about color, but it's so easy to look at people's reviews and to look at people's blog posts and say, oh, I want to make that, and walk through the fabric store and just be, truly the best word for it is seduced by fabrics, imagining yourself in something. It's like when I look at dressy dress fabrics, imagining myself sweeping down the stairs in a grand ballroom with a skirt that's got 16 layers of tulle underneath it. I'm never going to wear that, so why waste my precious sewing time making something like that? Anyway, I'm now off to work on something that I know I'm going to wear. I'm 2/3 of the way through September, and I've actually made 4 garments so far. I'm hoping I like all of them after I get them finished. But I just wanted to share some of my thoughts on this journey of figuring out what to sew and what not to sew. Thanks for watching. Thank you to everyone who's subscribed. I'm stunned that there are people who actually subscribe and want to watch this. But I look forward to seeing you soon.